Once upon a time, Cadillac did more than just rebadge a Chevy and apply the leather treatment. It was in fact a very long time ago, and we're giving the mighty CTSV lineup a pass on this judgy statement. Back then, Cadillac called itself the standard of the world and built cars that lived up to that bold statement. It was a time when their cars were marked by the goddess, had miles of chrome, and stopped people in their tracks. It's been a while, but as of 2024, Cadillac looks poised to return to this hallowed status. And though the automaker's most amazing modern vehicles are fire-breathing V8 super sedans, Cadillac is embracing electricity to take things to a new level for the future. Leading the way on this drive is an all-new, hand-built, graced by the goddess, ultra-luxurious cruiser known as the Celestiq. The highlight reel is deep, an exclusive mega castings platform, spectacular metalwork, a wild glass roof with suspended particle device technology, a 42-speaker audiophile fantasy, true coach-built construction, 23-inch wheels, active suspension, 600 horsepower, 99 inches of screens. Whoa. It is one seriously sweet moonshot of a machine. But before we dive into all the glorious details, could you please take a moment and click the subscribe button below? The team here at the Empty Garage thanks you. Okay, take a good hard look at the lines on the Celestiq. Terms like automotive art and avant-garde have been thrown around, to which we say yes, and to which we'll add jaw-dropping and stupendous. A long axle-to-dash ratio gives the Celestiq its impossibly long look, and we love it. So call it what you want, because this low-slung fastback is poised to put Rolls-Royce on notice and Cadillac back on the map. Up front, the headlights use digital micro-mirror device technology with 1.3 million pixels per side. These cutting-edge lights are part of an elaborate animation display that kicks off when the owner is within 15 feet. It involves light cascading around the front end, including the central Cadillac crest. Note the metalwork for the front grille, lighting bezels, and body side trim. It's all real aluminum that has been milled, machine polished, brushed, and tinted. And the goddess is back, residing on the front fenders with a special crystal element housing with dedicated lighting elements. Now, a quick aside on this mysterious goddess. She first showed up on Cadillacs in the 1930s, at which time she took the form of a heron. In the 1940s, she magically transformed into a flowing female figure until finally disappearing in the 1950s. Almost 70 years later, the goddess returns to grace the Celestiq with icon status. And a not-so-subtle challenge to the spirit of ecstasy over at Rolls. It's said that the windshield on the Celestiq is a steeper rake than that of a C8 Corvette. Certainly looks that way. Exterior door handles are replaced by subtle B-pillar buttons, which adds sleek good looks and does wonders for aerodynamics. Normally, we'd be falling all over ourselves with excitement about the carbon fiber body panels, which are admittedly super neat. However, the neato factor is even higher for the outrageous glass roof, the glorious fastback rear end, and the mega casting structure. That structure, which underpins the Celestiq, is made from 6 huge sand-cast aluminum components, each of which trims the part count by up to 40 components compared to typical stamped construction. Cadillac calls them mega castings, which sounds as cool as it is, but also dramatically improves structural rigidity. Up top, the entire roof is fixed glass with suspended particle device technology to allow variable transmission of light segmented into 4 zones, one for each occupant. Open up that huge rear clamshell to find a leather-lined and metal-inlaid cargo hold. But wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. I almost forgot the wheels. With the available 23-inch forged aluminum rims, the Celestiq is truly a concept car brought to life. Wrapping those wheels are Michelin Pilot Sport EV summer tires designed just for this car. They use self-sealing technology and have foam inserts as part of what Caddy is calling isolated precision, a system aimed at delivering the sort of ultra-luxurious drive experience that'll make a Bentley feel like my 1989 Jeep Cherokee. Okay, that's a stretch, but this isolated precision system is quite impressive. Along with those special tires, the Celestiq rides on 4-corner adaptive air suspension with the latest generation of magnetic ride control dampers. In a Cadillac first, active stabilizer bars front and rear serve to keep the Celestiq flat in the corners. And active rear steering will help with high-speed stability, but more importantly for a car of this dimension, it'll be easier to navigate parking lots. Motivating this modern land yacht is GM's Ultium electric vehicle architecture. A 111 kilowatt-hour battery pack powers a pair of electric motors, one at each end for all-wheel drive capability. Cadillac says the Celestiq will be good for 600 horsepower, 640 pound-feet of torque, and a 300-mile driving range with 200 kilowatt DC fast-charging capability. Now, before you get all up in arms about how the Lucid Air Sapphire boasts more than twice the horsepower and a 1.9 second 0 to 60 time that is exactly half what Cadillac quotes for the Celestiq, realize this new Halo Caddy isn't all about power and speed, though we wouldn't complain if it was. The truth is, when you're signing up for a car that starts at $340,000, you're buying a lifestyle on wheels. A lifestyle that comes with words like wafting and phrases like "be gone, peasant." And as you'll see from the inside of this isolated precision instrument, the Celestiq delivers on that front. And hey, 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds isn't exactly slow. Looking around the cabin, it's hard to imagine what would land your jaw on the floor faster. Beholding the spectacle of a royal blue leather-lined cabin, including the floor, or the 55-inch screen that runs coast to coast. Well, we'll get to both, so let's start with that screen. It's one giant pane of glass that spans the entire dashboard with two screens underneath, one for the driver and one for the passenger. An 11-inch screen sprouts from the center console that Caddy calls the command center. Rear occupants get their own 8-inch command center, which leads to the question, who's in command? The answer to which is, who cares when you're sitting inside this breathtaking beauty? Before we get to the back seat, take in the metal and crystal control dial up front. The goddess lives here as well and offers the promise of physical system control when the touchscreen just isn't working. Like up front, folks in the back are treated to something called Climate Sense technology. It enables 4 individual microclimates according to Cadillac, which sounds like you can be in a rainforest on your side and I can be in the Arctic tundra on mine. Considering the heated and cooled cushions, heated armrests, neck scarf system, and of course the individualized air vents, maybe that's not so crazy. In fact, add in the 450 cabin LEDs as part of an ambient lighting system offering 18 different animations, and that scenario becomes even less crazy. Okay, I'll stop imagining being in a rainforest or on the tundra, but with the 38-speaker AKG sound system in concert with the lighting and the climate, you could practically be driving around in the Rainforest Cafe. Okay, serious face back on. Owners will have truly limitless choices when it comes to building out their Celestiq. Cadillac will provide no less than 200 exterior colors to choose from, and if you just can't find that shade of gray, they'll color match to anything you want. This is also true inside, where you can slather on the leather to your heart's content in whatever colors you can dream up. You've got perforated and backlit open pore wood and hand-polished metal inlays. The cast aluminum dash panel and door sills can be engraved to your liking. It's a regular bonanza of personalization that will ensure no two Celestiqs are alike. On the technology front, the Celestiq will of course be able to park itself, whether you're sitting inside of it or standing outside to watch the show. GM's next generation of Super Cruise, known as Ultra Cruise, will be on hand, so to speak, ready to eventually enable true hands-free driving across 2 million miles of paved roads in North America. And then there are the more than 100 bits and pieces of the Celestiq crafted using 3D printing, which is pretty cool as it enables a level of detail not possible with typical metal castings and CNC milling. Just get a load of the fine detailing on the steering wheel alone. The internet is alive with the sound of naysayers who think the Cadillac Celestiq is an outrageous idea that is sure to fail. We respectfully disagree. Yes, the Celestiq is outrageous, but in all the best ways. It's easily the most extravagant model Cadillac has ever created, and one that looks ready to hip-check Rolls-Royce and Bentley into the boards. But, you know, a cushioned, polite hip-check, as one expects from the standard of the world.